and welcome to Camnet Television News. I'm Jeffrey Ziambo to present. Our top stories in the news: Gears calls for the amendment of the CDF Act. DEC NABS 5 in Lusaka for drug trafficking.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the country.
There's so much data.
Mom.
Yes, baby.
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Hello once again, another news in detail. The Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, has arrested 5 suspects in connection with trafficking in drugs, among them cocaine, heroin, and high-grade cannabis. DEC Public Relations Officer Matthias Kamanga says among those arrested is a 46-year-old Nigerian national identified as Frank Chidiebere, 2 Zambian nationals identified as Costa Hamamba of Mtendera Compound and Smart Zulu of Chipata Compound in Lusaka. Also arrested are 2 sisters identified as Cleopatra Tembo and Miriam Tembo of Lusaka's Libala South for trafficking in over 1 kilogram of suspected heroin and 40 grams of suspected cocaine. Mr. Kamanga has since appealed to members of the general public to report any suspected drug dealing in order to save the lives of many people. More in this report.
The use of illicit drugs can cause varying risks to one's health, both physically and psychologically, on a short and long-term basis. While drugs are believed to be common in European countries, Zambia, on the other hand, as innocent as she may look, is actually a home to drugs which has been causing serious problems among young and elderly people. The Drug Enforcement Commission, Sunday 19th June 2022, with a tip-off from members of the general public, have raided on some drug dealers who they have been tracking for some time now. According to the Commission Public Relations Officer Matthias Kamanga, 5 people have been arrested, among them a Nigerian national identified as Frank Chidiebere for trafficking in cocaine, heroin, and high-grade cannabis.
Been picked up for suspected cocaine, which is weighing more than 1 kilogram, and he's also been found with high-grade cannabis. The high-grade cannabis, this is like a big package that was being put into these small packages. It means that he had more than this, and then he even put them into these small packages that were being sold.
Also arrested in the operation are 2 sisters identified as Cleopatra Tembo and Miriam Tembo, age 42 and 35, for trafficking in 1 kilogram of suspected heroin and 40 grams of suspected cocaine.
The search has led to the seizure of a further 1 kilogram, just over 1 kilogram of suspected heroin, just like the other one that was picked up from the other suspect that was picked up earlier. As you can see, the packaging is the same, and this person was even found with a little scale that they use for them to make sachets, which they are selling to members of the public that are unsuspecting or that are hooked to drugs.
And this beautiful ride, as beautiful as she may look, has been an accomplice in the crime and has equally been confiscated from 2 males identified as Costa Hamamba, age 47 of Mtendere Compound, and Smart Zulu, a male age 42 of Garden Compound, who have also been arrested.
The suspects, we have seized this motor vehicle. As you can see, at the back you have the number plate that is indicated, but when you come and check in front, you find that they've even removed the number plate, which to me shows that probably even the one that is at the back can be removed at any time, and these criminals can be able to attack citizens at will. And these are some of the things that we are seeing in our compounds that are happening.
The Commission has since appealed to members of the general public to keep updating them on any suspected drug dealings and has warned that it will deal with all those who will be found wanting. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Some Chako traders operating in Lusaka's Kanyama compound have lamented over the ban on the cutting down of trees in some chiefdoms, saying the move is affecting their businesses. In an interview, some traders claim that banning the cutting down of trees for Chako production will leave them with no source of income as they totally depend on Chako for survival. A trader, Jacqueline Mulando, says she has been doing the said business for the past 14 years and says she does not know how to do other businesses. More in this report.
Chako production is the major driver of deforestation and forest degradation in Zambia. Increasing demands from urbanization and power cuts have in recent years led to a greater dependency on wood fuel to meet urban households' energy needs, largely at the expense of the country's forests and woodlands. Economic hardship and joblessness has forced many Zambians into illegal Chako dealing, an act that threatens the country's forest. Chako trading is legal in Zambia, but the government requires wholesalers to obtain permits from the Forest Department that ensure the destruction of a limited number of trees. In order to combat climate change, government is discouraging the cutting down of trees, which has seen some chiefs concur and are now banning the cutting down of trees in their chiefdoms.
If we continue cutting those young trees, then at the end of the day, we'll have no tree completely. So I've even banned even those that are coming from other areas to come and get some poles from our chiefdom. Yeah. But the challenge that I'm facing also is the forest department officers. Even if I've banned fighting this climate change negative effects through banning of Chako production activities. So when I called those people, I explained to say, don't give out the licenses to these people that are making Chako.
However, some women in Chako production feel the move to ban the cutting down of trees is negatively affecting their business as they depend on that for survival. Jacqueline Mulando and her colleague, both of Lusaka's Kanyama compound, have been in the Chako business for 14 years and say they cannot manage to start up another business.
Nakuanisa 14 years. Sina puzile sinaendepa uzava kusukuri, nisi vizivu. Mo business yangu ya marasha hii, nipuzisira mo bana. Ndiye mwene tijela. Nikaba tufonse ndiye mwene ni drama zemeti malipira zimaningi zambili, maniki kuba foresti ni zambili. Tu kwa mene chosa marasha hizi, chosa kukafiwa national park kuna Rusanga. Kizachita affectika iliko enda kwina ngumoti tandizira ndiye mweti zaso. Ande sija depend mu kuchuba mitengo kushoka kupanga marasha. Ero marasha bakayeresera atu ati apa kwa sira. Kwempekesa champe kufa kai kuri business ina ngwebele tinapuzira. Ni amarasha yamene. Ndimo mene timatesera abana mene baende maendera kusukuru manyumba tima yasongera mulando wa marasha. So marasha bakayaresi. Nishikulipe.
Parliament passed the Forest Act of 2015 to provide a legal framework for managing forests, which covers 61% of the country. The most straightforward measures by policymakers was to restrict and ban Chako production and use in order to protect the environment. Due to lack of energy alternatives, however, these policies have proved inadequate in curbing demand, driving production and trade to the informal sector. The production of Chako requires burning wood, a danger to Zambia's already thinning forest. The World Bank estimated the country's forests were disappearing at a rate of 250,000 to 300,000 hectares each year. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Farmers in Mufumbwe district of Northwestern Province have complained over the decision taken by the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, to reduce the number of FRA satellite depots from 18 in the past to 6 this year. In an interview, some farmers say the 6 satellite depots allocated to the district this year are not enough, as they will make farmers spend a lot of money on transporting their produce to the satellite depots. And Kamubata Ward Area Councillor, who is also a farmer, Kelis Kulaunda, has appealed to the government through the Ministry of Agriculture to revisit its decision of giving the farmers in Mufumbe district 6 satellite depots instead of 12.
Actually, we just want to make a complaint through Ministry of Agriculture to the Provincial Marketing Manager for FRA for giving us 6 satellite depots this year, 2022 farming season. Actually, if you come in Mufumbe district, if there's a district which is very vast, it is Mufumbe district. So the 6 satellite depots that you have given to us, it is not enough. Because previously we had 18 satellite depots here in Mufumbe. From there, the government reduced it to 12 satellite depots. And now today, it has been reduced to 6 satellite depots. This has become a thorn to so many farmers here in Mufumbe district. So our humble appeal to the marketing manager for FRA is that, please, we will rescind your decision to give us back the 12 satellite depots that we had previously. Because most of the farmers are complaining. We are complaining as farmers, because I'm also a farmer. Apart from being a councillor, I am also a farmer.
Governance, Election Advocacy, Research Services, GEARS Initiative Executive Director McDonald Chipenzi has described the recent motion to amend the Constituency Development Fund CDF guidelines by members of Parliament as a misplaced priority, stating that what needs to be amended is the CDF Act itself. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Chipenzi says the Act should be amended to make CDF disbursement and implementation efficient and within the budget cycle. Majority of members of Parliament Wednesday, the 15th of July 2022, voted against the motion to amend CDF guidelines, following various complaints that the funds are not easily accessible due to bureaucracy. More in this report.
The increase in the Constituency Development Fund CDA from 1.6 million kwacha to 25.7 million kwacha under the current administration raised hopes among citizens, as they were told to form cooperatives and apply for school bursaries if to benefit from the funds. The decentralization of CDF is also expected to create grassroots development, which will see the country transforming into a prosperous middle-income status in 8 years' time. While the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development in March announced the release of 805 million for the first quarter of 2022, the funds still sit idle in council coffers due to bureaucratic procedures. This has raised concerns, especially in the case of school bursaries, where various institutions, most of them which are already open, will need to be paid. Members of Parliament on 15th June 2022 moved a motion in Parliament to loosen guidelines on CDF, a motion which failed as majority of MPs voted against it. In an interview, Governance, Elections, Advocacy, Research Services GEARS Executive Director Mr. McDonald Chipenzi says what needs to be amended is not CDF guidelines, but the CDF Act itself.
At this point in time, we don't really need guidelines, amendment of guidelines, which I think can be done by the ministry without taking such an issue to Parliament. What we expected was that the members of Parliament would have pushed for a motion to amend the CDF Act, because that is the blockade to the to the efficiency, implementation, and disbursement of CDF funds in this country.
He further says the amendment of the Act should also see the control of projects being decentralized, as they are currently controlled by the ministry.
Unlike now, where even the utilization of the funds starts in May or June, somewhere there, and not in January, and yet the budget cycle starts from January to December. These are the things that we expected our MPs to push and not the guidelines. Those can be done outside the law. You don't need you don't need the parliament to resolve on that issue. You just need a stakeholders meeting, resolve those issues out of what we have experienced so far, and then make the guidelines better.
It is hoped that CDF will be made easily accessible to see it serve its purpose. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
To end Camnet Television News, we take a look at stories making headlines once again. Gears calls for the amendment of the CDF Act. DEC nabs 5 in Lusaka for drug trafficking. Thank you for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziamboa.